Hello and welcome to the second episode of What's Old is New, our watch-along recap and review show for Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, which is right now focusing on Sonic SatAM.
Woohoo!
I am, of course, your host, Felicia, and I'm joined by my co-host, Wynne. Say hi, Wynne.
Hi, Wynne.
And today we are going to be going over the episode Sonic and Sally.
Sonic and Sally. I know them from TV.
Yes, you do. The episode is going to be focusing on Sonic and Sally, so this isn't their debut, it's their, it's just more development on them, and Tails, as we'll later see.
Tails!
Yes, we're gonna see Tails for the first time in this episode. Aren't you excited?
That is fun, because, there's 3 characters from the games in the show. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And we saw 2 of them in the last episode.
Yeah. So,
Yay!
characters from the actual material this show is based on.
Yeah, exciting. And also, this will be the first episode we are watching written by Patricia Ali and Ben Hurst.
Yes. Is this their only episode in the first season?
I would have to look that up.
Alright. Either way, their presence isn't felt very much in this first season, but boy, will we be seeing a lot of those two when we get over to season 2.
Yes, a lot of Pat and Ben, Ben alone, Pat alone.
Those 2 writers really, I feel, represent a lot of what I enjoy about this show, and honestly about the Deke Sonic cartoons in general, as we will see when we get into more of them.
They're definitely the most prominent writing duo of the Deke Sonic cartoons and just the general 90s writing duos.
Yeah.
For the 90s anyway, I think they'd only be rivaled by Ken Penders and Mike Kantorovich, who were at one point going to be writing for season 3 of SatAM, but that's neither here nor there.
That's trivia.
Yeah. But enough dawdling about. I'm excited to see this episode. I want to start it. Are you ready for us to count down?
I think I'm pretty ready for us to count down. How about you at home?
Exactly, because like last episode, we're going to count down from 3 to go, as in 3, 2, 1, go. And when we say go, y'all are gonna start watching the episode with us as we comment on it. And you can watch from your DVD, from the official release, or wherever you have the episode right now.
And good luck to you in Watson.
Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, it's time for the countdown.
Let's do it. To it.
Yeah. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Mobotropolis looks so cool in this intro.
Yeah, we really unfortunately get to see very little of Mobotropolis.
Yeah, it's only here in the intro and in Back to the Past.
Blast to the Past in season 2.
Yeah, Blast to the Past, yeah.
Which we'll be getting to, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Just like this shot of Sally swinging on that rope.
It's so great, and then we leave Nicole in a computer for some reason.
She'll be okay. She's in the cloud cluster.
I like rain. And here we have all these various background characters. Don't get too used to seeing them.
Yep.
The show's not big on crowd shots.
No. But we're big on Ben and Pat.
Ben and Pat. Ben and Pat. Or Pat and Ben. Pat and Ben. It doesn't slide off the tongue usually.
Yeah. But Pat and Ben is the order it's in.
Yes.
Bunny!
Bunny's debut. Oh, she's great. Oh, he's great.
Ah, she's great.
Oh, she's great.
We like these characters.
Could you tell? The old Wattses. Everything's old in Sonic's world. He runs too fast.
Time is moving faster than he can keep up with.
Everything's old.
Oh, it's their secret handshake.
Keep that in mind for later in the series, when it will definitely come up after this episode. Leo White gives such a wonderful performance as Sonic.
Absolutely. He is an incredible actor that unfortunately did not get very much work afterward.
Yeah, it is the same, because, like, he does so good, and, like...
And has also made some unfortunate comments about fat politics.
Hopefully, he can not feel badly about things.
Yeah.
Anyway, the So is mainly what we're here to talk about, and Bunny.
Indeed. And Bunny.
Because Bunny is here, and Bunny Rabbit is a wonderful character.
Yeah, and she had a wonderful voice actress. I love how that SWAT bot, actually, that other SWAT bot, out of noticing Bunny.
Very good.
SWAT splainer.
Oh, Bunny's so great.
Yeah!
They're off doing some kind of blowing things up plan.
Yep.
Like revolutionaries do.
Yes. Things are so hectic for them every time. I mean, except for maybe Sonic a lot of the time, because he's very fast and he gets to go through these things very effortlessly.
Yeah. It is something that you notice about it being that there's very little content that can be sourced from the games.
Yeah.
Like, all of the various enemies Sonic fights are completely original. Whether it's the SWAT bots or these little beetle car things.
Yeah.
And here Sally's getting captured. That's bad.
It is bad, yeah.
I really like this scene. I get it.
Foreshadowing. Oh god. I feel bad about laughing at that.
I mean, it goes right back on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sonic, despite having a lot less mass than Bunny, is so chaotic that he gets rid of all the hay.
Yeah. Nope. I love how Bunny is still strong enough with her non-robotic arm that she can hold Sonic back from juicing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can bet she does one-arm push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Human!
Where did you find that, Sniffly? I just went rifling through the couch cushions and found enough memory.
You had to find the little RAM card. Ah, this is so perfect.
Much more aggressive, this artificial Sally.
This is all very grim and creepy.
Yeah!
Sonic being forced to wait.
He is waiting. And he's done waiting. You look so cute, just struggling in Rutter's grasp.
And here's Tails. It really is Tails, even if he does not look anything like he does in the games.
Yep.
I'm I'm not sure how that happened. Sonic stumbled. That was cute. Oh, this was cute.
This show is so full of cute things.
There's Sally.
I also look at my nails all femininely like that all the time. Sally has been replaced by Archie Comic Sally,
Oh no.
who's a generic girl character.
I like this. Like, the best way to handle this is just try to kill Sonic like normal.
Yeah.
It probably won't work.
And hey, if he actually dies...
Hey, it would be a bonus if the plan failed and Sonic died.
Yeah.
Yes, don't be suspicious of your good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty on point.
Yeah.
Now we have this part, which is very silly.
Yeah.
Who was that meal even for?
Riker on the Starship Enterprise? Come on. Keep up.
Not even a good impression of Robotnik. It's a left hand. That's his robot hand.
Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't really pick up on a...
And now he's being Dr. Claw.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're not going to see much of Cluck later, but
No.
Cluck is a thing that exists for now.
Yeah. Scoot. Just...
I love that Sonic clearly doesn't know what to do in this situation, because this is not how Sally would act.
Yeah! But, like, that's an interesting failsafe they had for False Sally, is, like, fluster Sonic into not questioning it.
I guess it makes sense to, like, keep Sally around until Sonic seems to have accepted the duplicate.
Yeah. Well, they were going to roboticize her just then.
Yeah, but, like, the duplicate's off.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good fortune on the side of the freedom fighters today.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there's that one skunk. Had a, unfortunately, black face.
Yeah, colors of the background characters are not always great.
Funny kiss.
That wasn't a very funny kiss at all. Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay, you little shit.
Tails is such a baby in this, though.
Yeah.
Which is completely different from actual Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but breathtaking performance. Thank you, Robot Sally. will know that Tails does say last night, but last night Sally was kidnapped.
Yeah. Tails is so cute.
Tails is cute, and Robot Sally is terrible at this.
Yeah. Falsely just not give a shit.
Nicole is noticeably not very present throughout this episode, despite being there at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, they left her in the intro.
Of course. Robo Sally back from raking leaves. And now here to be an obvious robot. Just in case any children are around. To see it happen.
Yes. Yeah.
I like
Getting the Nagas eyes.
I like this episode, but it is filled with a lot of obvious coincidences.
Yeah. I like this shot where, like, you can clearly tell that Robot Sally was not asleep and was just pretending the whole time. Because, like, she just opens her eyes like, aha, yes. Ooh.
She is angry at this wilted carrot.
Tails is suspicious.
It's a secret.
I'm sure that sounded very convincing when Tails ran up to Sonic.
Yeah. It is very realistic for Sonic to just believe that she's stressed out after being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like, Sonic, only when he's dealing with Tails does he show off the maturity that he does have.
Yeah.
And it weirdly is stopping him from seeing the truth here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a conflation of, like, maturity and not believing a child when a child speaks up about a problem. You did one of our famous...
Just slaps him.
That high five was our third close one tonight. I love how they have like a three-person high five, like specifically excluding Sally, so they can have that scene where Sally swats Sonic to the ground.
Just fun and cool things with Sally slapping Sonic.
Yeah. Gotta love it. When you forget my small detail, then you're not stressed, you're a robot.
Laser fingers, because of course.
Yeah.
And Megamach. I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Bunny to the rescue.
Bunny's the best.
Wink. Sonic winks when he says he owes Bunny one.
It's just a fun thing to do with your friends.
Yeah.
And we are here back with roboticization. Today at SARE.
Yeah. Much more comfortable. I bet she asked for it. Like, just to stall for time. Like, how am I supposed to get roboticized in this state? Why is he so surprised?
Iron Lips is an interesting nickname for Robotnik.
Notable for not being accurate. His lips are still flesh.
Yeah.
Robotnik has all the bad luck today.
Yeah. It's almost like the universe is conspiring against him so that our heroes can win.
Yeah.
This is fun. Sonic maneuvering his weird Sally doll to help him get into the building.
I'm glad I let you take that line. I was gonna have a much less savory description of this lifeless Sallybot.
Okay. More Bunny using her flesh arm to do cool, strong stuff. Oh, she's so good.
Hey. For a few frames, her the outer parts of her eyes that were like dark brown were purple, like in the Archie comics.
Oh.
It was a miscoloring that has endured for the entirety of the Archie comics.
Very quiet nose today from Robotnik.
Yeah.
Let's just talk at normal speaking volume in the same room where Snively is. There's a proper high five.
Yeah.
Hey, and hand grenades. Today, the power ring can be used twice.
Yes.
Here we do have a fun bit of lore where trying to roboticize a machine messes it up.
Yeah.
It's a bit vague overall.
Yeah.
Also, there was someone who wasn't in the first scene from behind. There was someone being carried on someone's shoulders for some reason. But it was like a random background villager who disappeared when the camera scene changed.
Yeah.
And C can prove it. Yes, he kissed you on the nose. Like, I love how Sonic had to have told Sally everything. But then he comes here.
Oh, Oh, this show is a treasure.
It really is. What a nice episode. Like most of them, really.
It filled me with abundant amounts of joy. And here, I forgot this was the first appearance we get outside of the pilot of Bunny Rabbit.
Yes. I was actually looking forward to this because I knew that Bunny was here.
Okay. Yeah, and so that gives us the opportunity to talk about Bunny. But like, first I should just say the episode's over. The episode's over, and
yeah,
we're going to discuss our thoughts about it now.
Yeah, we are.
So,
Go.
That episode, I loved it.
It is. While we were going through, I stated the relatively small criticisms that I had of it.
Yeah.
With the unbelievable amount of luck for the freedom fighters that it took for the entire thing to actually work.
Indeed.
But the overall character writing and the dialogue and everything like that was really, really nice, I felt.
I thought so too. And at the end, or close to the end anyway, Sonic and Bunny are being heroically carried by a bunch of background freedom fighters in celebration for how well they did. And Bunny says that sometimes a robot body comes in handy.
Yeah. I was kind of goofing off on a random, unimportant background detail while that was happening.
I was trying to listen through it. Apologies, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. But I was trying to focus in on that so I could bring it up here.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, particularly as this is Bunny's first appearance. And because we get more later into Bunny and her feelings about her robotic limbs, which are generally presented as not wanting them.
Yeah.
And, needless to say, Bunny being essentially a cyborg is, like most cyborgs in fiction, basically just a fantasticalized version of real-life, actual amputees, honestly, for the most part.
Yeah.
In the case of Bunny, I don't think they ever sew it in the sew. But basically, the reason why she has one robotic arm and two robotic legs is because she was in the midst of being roboticized.
Yeah.
When it was interrupted by something.
I believe Sonic, perhaps. Who knows?
Perhaps. Like I said, the sew never got around to actually showing us, a flashback or anything of it happening, but...
I think we saw it in Blast of the Past, actually.
Well, no, I remember that because I thought we were going to see it.
Oh.
But... I guess a bit spoiler for ahead, but she never actually gets roboticized, partly. She's about to be roboticized, and then it's stopped before it even gets to the parcel point that left her, in the state she is in the series proper. I guess it was as a nod to the fact that it would happen later, though she was at the time much younger.
Yeah.
And presumably she had, fully grown when her limbs were roboticized, because I don't believe they would grow with her.
That's true. No
matter how advanced roboticization is, it is still ultimately inorganic matter.
Yeah. And one thing I'd like to talk about with regards to Bunny is that, while Sonic is usually the I guess ex machina of the freedom fighters, where he shows up and shit gets fucked up for Robotnik, and the freedom fighters get one over on them and win the day, sort of. Usually that's how it goes.
Yeah. Sonic is Goku and he's here to save the day.
Yeah. But when it comes to sheer raw power, that's Bunny. She is the power type of the freedom fighters.
Definitely. And when taking all the core freedom fighters and what they generally bring to a situation, Bunny is really only second to Sonic in the amount he can and does do, because Sonic is the main character and he contractually has to do all the cool stuff.
Indeed.
Because Bunny is very powerful, very resourceful. We'll see more of what her robotic limbs can do for her and for the rest of the freedom fighters later.
Yeah.
But she really does prove herself to be a wonderful asset to the team, as well as just, a wonderful person.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she is a delight in every scene she's in.
Oh, yeah. God, I don't remember the name of her voice actor off the top of my head.
Her voice actress, unfortunately, passed in the last decade.
Yeah.
which is
a
very saddening. But she is a major part in what was the charm of the show. She was an incredible actress who put on a fucking bombshell of a performance.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be saying this about the voice acting in general and all of the main actors.
Yeah.
As we come to them, and we have been praising the voice acting. It's just, even with as well written as the show is, and we talked about the banter between Sonic and Sally and stuff like that with being so good, it would not be nearly as good if it wasn't being brought to life by these wonderful, wonderful actors.
Yeah. So, and with Bunny being the power type, that's an interesting thing for a girl character to get to inhabit, a role for a girl character to inhabit. In a children's show, in a children's cartoon in the 1990s.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I never felt like Bunny being strong and a girl was something that the show lampshaded or talked about.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was treated as yes, this girl is strong-y as hell, and we can always rely upon her.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of that is owed to the fact that the show had a not insignificant amount of women writers in the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and so the key difference between the writing in this show and some of the, one could argue all of the Archie Sonic comics, is that Sonic SatAM was written by people who understood women are people, and who, many of which were women themselves. I think that's part of how Sally and Bunny Rabbit endured for so long.
I feel definitely so. Because, gosh, these characters, these voice actors bring them to life. I feel like if you're a Sonic fan, you really should be watching this show, and if you're watching this podcast, you are watching this show, kind of.
Yeah.
By default, but for being a cartoon based on an honestly not very plot-centric video game series from the 90s, it's so good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In many ways, I keep, whenever I think about this show and how good the writing is, I think about how it really has no business being as good as it is.
Oh, absolutely not. No. Yeah. It's got guts, is the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of American media for Sonic doesn't have guts when it comes to the content of its character.
Well, yeah. One thing that I found in a lot of American media outside of the Deke cartoons for Sonic is that there is a very sort of mean-spirited tone that a lot of American media takes with Sonic, whether that's just in maybe a later cartoon production, the characters being just needlessly antagonistic and toxic to each other and not really even feeling like friends.
Yeah.
But here in SatAM and later on in the Sonic Underground cartoon, the main cast, they all feel like they want to be with each other. They feel like, they love each other and they're friends and, later in Underground family and it all works.
And I would say Sonic SatAM also shows these characters very much behaving as though they are family.
Oh, definitely. It's something I don't think the show tackles textually.
No.
But there is definitely a feeling when I watch it of found family, what with all these children who had to struggle into their teens/adulthood together, building this village together, and now just kind of living and fighting back against, this dictator.
Yeah, certainly. And in these Deke cartoons, we see a Sonic and company that exhibit, one, largely healthy relationships with masculinity, or if they don't, toxic masculinity is not given respect in these shows.
Indeed.
And in these shows, we see, like, when arguments do crop up, they are handled healthfully and respectfully. Because adults who are not irony poisoned are writing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this episode, a large part of it is dedicated to a roboticized Sally Acorn.
Yeah. Or, well, a robot duplicate.
A robot duplicate, yes. And I couldn't help but think back to, well, years later when Sally would be roboticized in the comic books that did a lot to keep her relevant. And it was interesting to compare them in my head, like how they each handled these things, which Sally's situation in the Archie comics was much different compared to what we see in this cartoon. But like, yeah, I kind of went into that topic without having like an escape plan.
It's fine. It's fine. Should we talk about Tails?
We should. We've talked about Bunny and how wonderful she is. I think we should talk about Tails now.
Yeah, because Tails was not in the previous episode, but Tails is a character who is not one of the core freedom fighters, but is definitely, like, I'd say about as much of a supporting character as Rotor, who doesn't tend to appear in the action as much. Weirdly, this episode, Rotor does just go right out into the field, which is not common for his character.
Definitely not.
But, yeah, Tails. Tails, of course, being one of the few characters actually from the games.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, Tails definitely in the games was sort of being, I guess, sold as, like, the little brother character to Sonic, and both SatAM and also Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog definitely leaned on that.
Absolutely.
Showing them having sort of an informal brother relationship. And one of the few episodes of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog I saw even had a whole arc basically saying textually that Sonic and Tails were definitely found family.
Absolutely, yeah. When Tails at one point gets himself in peril, Sonic decides, no, I am not going to let this child be endangered on my watch anymore. I am finding him a home, goddammit. And there's a whole plot line where he seemingly finds Tails' real parents, quote unquote, and then they make a plot point of Tails' first name being Miles. And there's also just kind of like when Tails is brought to his quote unquote real family, there's an undercurrent of like some borderline racist, the father says, Tails belongs with his own kind. And, yeah, and to have the show then just outright reject that and fully say that, you know, this found family between Sonic and Tails is valid and beautiful and just as valid as any other family.
Yeah. Sonic is Tails' mom and his dad and his picket fence.
Yep. What a line.
That beautiful line that has stuck with me even though I have severe memory issues for years since seeing it as a child. I don't know, it's almost like it was well written and impactful. That's a different show.
That is a different show, and we'll be getting to that episode a long time from now. But,
in 5 years. Remember back to this. We have a lot of Sonic cartoons to get forward, and the more plot-based ones are the ones that we're focusing on for now.
Yes. And we also got introduced to Rotor in this episode.
Was Rotor not in the last episode?
He was not in Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom was just Sonic, Sally, Antoine, and Cat.
It's been a week or so since, or 2 weeks, or whatever. It's been time since we watched Sonic Boom for the podcast.
Yeah.
And even though it's one of the 2 episodes that I saw in my childhood, I somehow completely blanked on the fact that Rotor wasn't there. Wow.
It's alright.
But yeah, we got to see Rotor.
We did.
Rotor was doing machine things when he reprogrammed the robot.
Yeah, and there's certainly an episode later in this season that gets to focus more on Rotor and his feelings about his role within the Freedom Fighters as the tech guy, not the glorious adventure guy who gets, like, all the credit for the adventures and stuff. And there's a temptation among writers of these characters to make Rotor want to be an action guy, be a punch man.
Yeah.
And certainly among Sonic fans, because toxic masculinity is a blight upon us all and whatnot, there is a sense that if a character is not performing acts of physical strength, then they are weak and they are unrespectable.
There has definitely been a large contingent of Sonic fans in recent years. I don't know, maybe yelling about how a particular tech-focused character didn't punch out the seeming manifestation of a water god, as if that somehow diminished his character.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Rotor today, not Tails.
Yeah, Rotor, who was, I guess, in the original concepts called Boomer. I have to assume that was where it came from and not just from the brains of Mike Gallagher and whatnot. He does not punch most of the time. He does not perform action. He is in the back.
Does he ever perform actually an act of violence properly in the show?
I don't think so, because his big damn hero moment in that one episode is when he manages to rescue Sonic and Sally and I think Antoine from sinking into an ocean, which is still, like, not violent. And I think it's nice that a character, a undeniably fat character, can perform these heroic acts and still not, like, and still be recognized as a hero without engaging in violence. And yeah, I should bring that up more. Rotor is a fat character.
Yeah. Rotor being fat is also particularly important given that this is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And the Sonic series has not dealt with fatness kindly historically. There have been very few fat characters in general, and the most iconic one is, of course, the evil villain, Dr. Eggman, aka Robotnik.
And the show definitely doesn't shy away from noticing Robotnik's body type.
Yeah, SatAM is definitely less bad about it than a lot of other media.
I think, and this might be a stretch, you can let me know what you think, but like, I think the nickname Robotnik...
Oh, definitely. I feel like that's definitely indication of his body, but, I mean, I've read the artsy comics.
And it gets much worse, yes.
Yeah, the occasional Robotnik is very tame by comparison.
Indeed. Unfortunately, that's how we are grading these.
Yeah.
On a scale. On a curve, anyway. But, yeah, and while Rotor is a character that's notably not as fat as Robotnik, whether you can chalk that up to body type, height, or whatever, I don't know.
He's also the way his character is designed to be walrus-like, to sort of...
Yeah.
The character design dynamics between them are quite different. But
Indeed.
I don't feel like his relative less fatness is specifically meant to be because he's the good one or anything.
Okay.
That's just my read on it.
Yeah. We'll have more opportunities to talk about Deke, Sonic, and those two's relationships with fatness and the imagined correlation with villainy.
Yeah.
That they had.
There will definitely be a very big opportunity in the future to talk about that, yes.
But yeah, this episode was really fun. It had really good action, really fun, emotional character beats. Like, the story has moments that slow down. It has moments that were like, they aren't being shot at.
Yeah.
And they can just talk.
Because they have that opening, like, bit of action. It's a nice big spy moment.
Yeah.
Which I do like that sort of, like, guerrilla warfare, insurgency stuff that they do.
Definitely.
You know, the whole thing goes awry, they have to run back home, and Sonic is forced to wait, and we have this sort of tense moment where we're caught between Sonic's patience and whether or not a ring will come out in a timely fashion.
And we get to see a portion of Tails' day-to-day life in Knothole.
Yeah. I mean, I think more than we would even tend to see later, because, like, Tails, we can see very clearly hangs out around town and doesn't leave when everyone else goes on adventures, because he's, like, 10 in this show?
I believe he turns 10 sometime before an episode in season 2, yes.
Okay. Which is...
And it's treated as, like, a big deal when, like, he is 10 and Sonic brings it up and, like, hey, he can come along in this mission.
Yeah. I will just quickly note that it is so odd to have this very, very childlike, very baby Tails, who is, like, 9 or 10, when Tails in canon is, in the games, is 8. And...
Yeah.
Especially, you know, when Sonic Adventure came along later, and forward into that, was treated as a much more independent and mature character.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even more so than some characters who are supposed to be maybe 4 or so years older than him.
Yeah, that's a thing, because Tails, in canon, is a character that doesn't have a legal guardian.
Yeah.
He lives on his own, and he goes on adventures with Sonic, and we all just accept that.
Yeah. Whereas it's only Cream, who is 6, only 2 years apart from Tails, who has a specific parent.
And acts significantly younger than Tails.
Yeah. Charmy B, I'd also wager, given that he is directly cared for by 2 much more adult characters.
Yeah, Charmy and his 2 gay dads.
But looping back into SatAM, Tails here is... He is presented, like all of the others, as an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
The, you know, Robotnik taking over, his parents are presumably roboticized or dead. And just like everyone, he has to deal with that. But Tails is also much younger than all of the Freedom Fighters. And so there's definitely a feeling, both in this episode and later, of Tails being sort of like raised by the village kind of a feel.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think I did the math one time on Tails in the timeline of when Robotnik took over, and I think it came out as, like, he had to have been born while Robotnik was in power.
Yeah.
Which is pretty grim, like a child growing up in this fascist world, like not knowing
not even having distant memories
of the world that Sonic and the others are fighting to bring back.
We see Sally, though, taking on very much a parental role, as well as Sonic, both.
Yeah.
In this episode, where Sally is giving Tails his bedtime stories, you know, she's greeting him with his funny kisses, and later on Sonic is, you know, doing sort of more big brother, but also, like, you know, sort of adult guardian, like, listening to his worries and, you know, trying to have the man talk.
Yeah. It's not quite fatherly, but it is definitely of a more mature familial place.
Yeah. And later on, if I remember correctly, we'd also see Bunny sort of stepping in and doing similar things to Sally. And it just, overall, I get the feeling like Tails is just the child who everyone helps to help raise. And
yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very good, I think, healthy, non-standard family dynamic that is just sort of placed in front of us without being questioned or commented on.
Yeah, it is not a nuclear family, and yet Tails is growing up to be a rather noble and good child who is pretty well behaved.
Yeah, and like we will definitely have some more Tails-focused and Tails-centric episodes in the future, which we'll go with more to talk about in regards to Tails. But you know, even from just this little first taste of what we'll be getting from his character is quite nice.
Yeah, it's. I like what the show implicitly says or doesn't say, I guess, with this dynamic they set up for Tails. Like, a group of anti-fascist extremists taking care of this small little baby can raise a child to be respectful, to understand morals, and like...
Yeah.
It's... I am really butchering this point I'm trying to make, but yeah, it's...
I think you're communicating your point, even if it's taking a lot of words and it's hard, because words are hard.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Sonic and Sally. And we'll be getting to the episode after that I forget. I have a good feeling it'll have Uncle Chuck next time.
Yeah, I think, maybe? I was looking at the episode list before, but I forgot.
Yeah. We got to talk about Uncle Chuck a tiny bit in the Mobius and Back Again episode, but yeah, we'll be getting to Uncle Chuck in SatAM pretty soon. But next week, we are going to be back with Mobius and Back Again, looking at... Right now we're planning on it being the first 2 issues of Archie Sonic.
Yeah, and if you, dear listener, haven't checked out Mobius and Back Again, that is our other Sonic podcast that we are doing, alternating week on week on Fridays with this one, where we are going to be covering everything, basically, of the artsy comics Sonic the Hedgehog series.
Yeah.
Which is a very large undertaking, but then, and so is just sort of watching all the old Sonic cartoons. So, hey, we're good at taking on long-term projects.
Taking the big swings.
Yeah. Swinging for the fences?
I guess.
Baseball.
So, until next time, I am Felicia, and my co-host was Wynne.
I was Wynne, but now I'm not Wynne anymore.
Oh.
It's mysterious. I'm still Wynne.
Keep being way past cool.
Yeah, let's do it again. How do you sign off?
You see, we had all this time to figure out another sign off, and we just didn't.
Yeah, we probably should talk about that maybe later. Anyway, this was a good episode. I rate it 5 silly dogs.
I rate this episode 0.5 Groviles out of Grovile because it is good, but it still did not have Grovile in it. So it's as good as it can get without Grovile.
Well put.
Bye!
Bye!